in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome everyone to our webinar today on pursuing a degree in Germany, what's required and how to apply. And I am very happy that today we have Uni-assist with us, and with us today we have Ms. Vladika from Uni-assist and also Ms. Arendsee. Both are experts, particularly for USA, and will be able to answer all of your questions. My name is Hanni Geist. I'm the DAAD Information Officer in the San Francisco office, and I will be your host for today. So, but before we start the webinar, I would like to get a few questions out of the way. First of all, we record the webinar, so you are able to view the webinar later on. And I also have the presentation that Uni-assist will present to you today, and I will upload that on our webinar page on daad.org. And afterwards, I will send a follow-up email with that link so you can find that easily. And of course, you will be able to contact me after the webinar, but also the presenters, and they will share their contact information with you later. But before we start the webinar, if you are not familiar with the GoToWebinar tool, all of you are muted at the moment, but you are able to get in touch with me and the presenters at any time using the question tool. And I would encourage you to actually send your questions in as they come up, and then I will collect them. And at the very end of the webinar, there will be plenty of time where I can ask your questions to the presenters. And I don't want to lose any time because I know the modalities, how to study in Germany and how to apply and where to apply and what documents you need. I know there's a lot to talk about, so I don't want to take away any time for that. And I would like to start right away with Uni-assist. If you're not familiar with Uni-assist, this is their website. So if you want to take a look at the website later, this is the Uni-assist website, how it would look like when you go on their website. And I will now change to the Uni-assist presentation that you will hear by Ms. Arendsee and Ms. Vladika. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello. My colleague Margot Jatta and I are very happy to welcome you to our presentation.
Hello. I hope that we can help you with our information.
Let me give you an outline of what we are going to tell you in the next minutes. We're going to talk about Uni-assist and its pre-check in detail. We're going to tell you and inform you about how to apply successfully, step by step. We're going to tell you about, in the what-if sections, on the perspective after we have processed an application and the perspectives. Then I'm going to pass over to my colleague, Margot Jatta. She will give you helpful tips for applicants from the USA and applicants who have certificates from the USA. So now let me start. I'm going to tell you a bit more about Uni-assist and its work. What is Uni-assist and what do we do? Uni-assist is an association of 178 German universities, the German Academic Exchange Service, DAAD, and the German Rectors Conference, HRK. We are based in Berlin. Uni-assist is entrusted by its member universities to pre-check international student applications. Our service makes the admission process for international applicants easier, more efficient, and customer-friendly. Now, the pre-check in detail. There are two procedures. Which procedure is to be followed? The university you are interested in will tell you. There's, on the one hand, the regular procedure, and on the other hand, there's a so-called VPD procedure. They are both slightly different. In the regular procedure, you apply to a German university via Uni-assist, whereas in the VPD procedure, you apply directly to a German university with a preliminary review documentation issued by Uni-assist. In both cases, in both procedures, we determine whether your educational certificates qualify in principle for admission to university studies in Germany. In both cases, we calculate the German equivalent of your final grade. Now, here's the difference. In case of the regular procedure, Uni-assist evaluates language competencies and course-specific criteria as set down by the university. This is usually not the case in the VPD procedure, where we only determine educational certificates. In the regular procedure, we forward your application electronically to the university, whereas we issue a VPD with which you then apply directly to the university in the VPD procedure. After that has been done, Uni-assist is not in charge anymore of your application, but the university further processes your application and decides on your admission. We often get asked how to apply successfully. That is why I'm going to give you a step-by-step guideline on how to proceed. First of all, it is crucial that you plan your studies, that you gather information. Then you should check out the general and specific admission requirements. After that, please apply online and submit the relevant documents to Uni-assist. Then you must pay the handling fees. After that, you can track your application at Uni-assist. In order to plan your studies, you can check the following websites for useful information on the German higher education system, scholarships, visa matters, and so on. We recommend two websites, studyin.de and the website of the German Academic Exchange Service. At that website, Study-in, you can also find suitable programs and universities. Then, after you have found out what you want to do and which university is of interest to you, get in contact with that university of your choice. You will then find out what the admission requirements are, such as the general admission requirements that include prior education, subject requirements, language competencies, a minimum grade, work experience, CV, recommendation letters, and so on. Generally speaking, you will have to meet the general requirements for higher education access in Germany. It's called Hochschulzugangsberechtigung, and course-related criteria as set down by the higher education institution. Please also inquire at the university on further formal requirements. So it might be that the university requires officially authenticated hard copies, or simple hard copies, or digital copies of your certificates or further documents that must be handed in either by you or by the issuing institution. Generally, all documents need to be submitted in paper form. Certificates generally need to be authenticated, if not sent by the issuing institution. We have information on that, on official authentication, at our website, which you can see here, the link. The university of your choice will also inform you on the deadline that you have to meet. That may vary from course to course and also for preparatory courses, such as Studienkolleg, the German language course, or other deadlines that have to be met. Generally speaking, from around May to 15th July is the deadline for winter semester enrollment, from the beginning of December to 15th January for summer semester enrollment. but these deadlines may vary. Now, Uni-assist cooperates with 178 member universities, yet please inquire at the university whether you need to apply via Uni-assist. The universities determine which applicant groups and courses Uni-assist is responsible for. After you have found out that you have to apply via Uni-assist, please apply online and submit your documents. First, get registered in the Uni-assist online portal at our website, which you can see here on the right-hand side. Create online applications for each course at each university you want to apply. Submit your applications electronically to Uni-assist before you print, sign, and send your application form along with the documents as required. Please pay the handling fees. It is 75 euros for the first application per semester. It is additional 15 euros for each additional application within the same semester. We have gathered all information on fees and payment options at our website. You can then track your application status. Uni-assist keeps you informed about the status of your application. You will automatically receive both a confirmation of receipt of your application and information on your pre-check results. You can check the current status of your application in your online account. And definitely you will be contacted if there are documents missing. What if your application was handed in incomplete or not in time? Your application cannot be forwarded to the university, or a VPD cannot be issued to you. But you can always submit missing documents within the application period at any time. The application will then be reviewed again, and a new result will be sent to you and the university. Our recommendation is therefore, contact the university you want to apply to get all the information on the admission criteria, deadlines, and so on. Please apply as soon as possible, at least 6 weeks before the deadline expires. You will then have the chance to add missing documents to your application. So that is it for my part. I'm gonna pass now to my colleague Margojata, and she will be happy to proceed.
Hello, so now I'm going to tell you some relevant information concerning high school diploma. What is very important that the high school diploma has to be issued by the high school that is regional accredited, by regional organization. And as an example, we have MSA, Middle States Association of College and Schools, or Western Association of School and Colleges. What we need a transcript with grades and subject from the last 4 years, from the 1912 year, with also with the certificate. The transcript must be officially authenticated, or it is also possible that it will be sent to us directly from the high school. Be careful that is official version, the last version of your transcript, and not an unofficial version. What is also very important that we need on the transcript overall unweighted CGPA. That must be over 3.0. It's really important that it's unweighted If it is not mentioned, then we need an additional confirmation. Very often when we have courses such as IB or AP courses, that is for us a hint that is not an unweighted CGPA. What is also important, we need a grading scale. Very often it is also mentioned in the transcript. And now I'm going to tell something about the subject requirements. What is important, what we have to check is the level of English. You need to prove 4 units in English in the classes 9 to 12 with at least grade C in each year. And the highest level that must be proven is English 4, English honors. Then we need 5 units in math and science taken together. So it can be 2 or 3 units in math with at least grade C in each year. And here also what is very important is the level in the 12th grade. And it must be at least pre-calculus. Then we need 2 or 3 units in science. And only such a courses such as biology, chemistry, or physics can be taken into consideration. Then we need 2 units in a foreign language. It can be, for example, German. But applicants who only with German pass, who just came to United States only to for the 2 last years to take classes in high school, have to take another language. Then German cannot be accepted because their language is anyway mother tongue. And what is also important, it must be the same language. So you cannot take 1 credit in, for example, in Spanish and then 1 credit in French. And finally, we also need 3 units in social science. It can be American history, it can be world history, geography, economics. As mentioned, not all subjects are recognized. For example, AP statistics. It cannot be taken into consideration as a math. Or, for example, environmental studies. They cannot be taken into consideration when it comes about biology. If you meet all of this requirement mentioned above, also with the CGPA, then you can apply for preparatory course, so-called Studienkolleg, and after 1 year of these courses, then the direct admission is possible. If you want to apply directly without going to Studienkolleg, then you need then only high school diploma is not sufficient. You need, for example, SAT with at least 1,300 points in math and critical reading. So the part writing is not relevant, and we are only checking the results in these 2 parts mentioned. Then the second possibility is with ACT, and you need at least 29 points in the composition score. And the third option is AP exam at College Board. and you need 4 exams, including math, science, and a language, with at least grade 3. All test results must be submitted directly from the institution, from the college board, or as an authenticated copy to Uni-assist. Or it can be, when it comes about ACT, it can be issued to us from ACT center. What is not sufficient is when we have only ACT or ACT results mentioned only on the high school diploma transcript. Another option how to be eligible to apply directly for a German university is completion of associate degree, or studying 2 years in a regular bachelor program at a recognized US university. But it's not enough only to prove that you have studied 2 years. You have to meet some strict requirements. You have to prove at least 50% of the credits that are required for your program. And then there are some special subject requirements. You need 5 independent general education subjects, including math, science, English, foreign language, and 1 another subject. And the second part, what is very important, 3 of those subjects mentioned must be taken in a 3 ascending consecutive semester courses. For example, when you take math with a number 101, then you need, for example, 104 and 105. If all requirements are met, direct admission to a German university is possible. What to do if the requirements are not met? Deficits in the high school diploma can be covered. If the subject requirements are not met and the grades and overall CGPA are not fulfilled, then regular courses of study at a recognized university can substitute the missing requirements. But if all subject requirements with grades are met, but the overall CGPA is below 2.95, study courses cannot substitute this deficit. So it means if you, for example, didn't take pre-calculus at your high school, you can take this course during your studies at a recognized university in a bachelor program. But no, not all study courses can substitute the missing high school diploma subject. For example, writing study courses are not sufficient to substitute English honors, or intermediate algebra is not sufficient to substitute pre-calculus. If you don't, another possibility to apply for a German university is applying with a bachelor degree. Then the bachelor has to be completed at a US accredited recognized university. You need to complete all requirements that are required for obtaining a bachelor degree at your university. And they are usually 120 credits. And to attain overall CGPA, what we need is also a grading system. What is also very important, it has to be mentioned on your transcript of record. We don't need a certificate if all of the relevant information are mentioned on the transcript of records. Relevant information is that degree certificate, that degree was confirmed. If the requirements are met, then direct admission to German university in a bachelor degree programs and master degree programs is possible. Now we are going to present you a modified Bavarian formula, what is used to evaluate your final grade. It's evaluation according to the guidelines from ANABIN. So the Nmax means maximum achievable points. What is, for example, from the high school diploma is 4. Minimum passing grade and mean is 2, and grade point average achieved is what you get. And now we are going to present two very important homepage where you can find relevant information. In the first place is ANABIN. There you can find all of the requirements set for high school diploma. You can also check if your university is accredited. And there is also a lot of relevant information concerning, for example, subjects, or what subjects can be taken into consideration. And then you also have a lot of relevant information at Studienkollegs.de. So this is how looks like the homepage of ANABIN, and you can see above it's US mentioned, and then you have high school diploma, bachelor, and when you click on it, you can see further information. Here you can also see the list of important information that you can find, such a grading system, accredited institution for the high schools, and some more. So now some common mistakes. As I mentioned, very important is that the transcript, the version that you send us is an official, the last version of your transcript. Unofficial transcript we cannot. Only screenshots or only printouts from ACT or ACT. What we need is really a version that we get, an official version from College Board. Unweighted GPA or grading system missing on the high school diploma is the third very common mistake. Very important is that you send us, while applying with high school diploma, you should send us a regular high school diploma. And that regular US terminology is used. Very often high schools that offers also IB programs, they don't use US terminology, and they used only terms such as IB math instead of pre-calculus. And then we cannot check if you meet requirements set for the high school diploma. That's why, because in this case, please submit US high school diploma issued according to US curriculum. When you're applying only with high school diploma without SAT, ACT, or a proof of 2 years of study, you are eligible only to apply for so-called Studienkolleg, and there you need a German language proficiency. So you also have to submit a certificate. And now there is also like a second category of mistakes. Most of the time we need officially authenticated copies. Simple copies can be accepted only for some university, but generally what we need is officially authenticated copies. You also have to pay attention to application form, what you use. Some universities have their own application form, so please directly at the universities. Please don't forget to sign your application form. It is also not enough just to copy your signature or just to scan it. Please also check special requirements for the university or courses of your choice, such as a motivation letter or CV. Please check also deadlines. It is very important because after the deadline we cannot send your documents to the university. And please don't forget that criteria set for also for the high school diploma or for applying with the certificates from US can be changed by Central Board for Foreign Education. That's why we sometimes we cannot give you a final answer, or we cannot tell you how it can be when you will apply in 1 year and you want from us an information what courses it is possible to take in the future, because we can only tell you what regulations we have now. In case of any further question, please contact us. You can see our phone number and our email and our correspondence address. Maybe a last thing that I really forgot to tell you concerning the high school diploma is that at least the last year has to be taken as a present schooling. You cannot take homeschooling, then we cannot accept it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for this very helpful information. And there are a lot of questions. I would like to ask you a few of those questions that came up, and I'm sure once we talk about the questions that were already asked, a few will come up more, but we do have time to ask those questions. So the first one I would like to ask is if dual citizenship, like if it's in this specific case, it's in Italy and US, but there are also, of course, applicants that have German citizenship and US citizenship or from other countries. So does that play a role? And then how is the application format a different one? In this scenario that I'm talking about right now, it will be just the student has lived in the United States, has a high school diploma from the United States, but has dual citizenship. Would that change at all? Do they have to apply differently, or does that not play a role when it comes to the application?
So when it comes about, I'm not so sure if it's connected with the information that I gave you concerning the language requirements, like the 2 credits in a foreign language. If it's connected with this, generally when it's no problem when you are a German, and it's like we can also German can be accepted as a foreign language. It's only not possible when someone from Germany goes to US only to take, for example, 2 final years at high school, and then he's applying with the high school diploma, but actually his mother tongue is German, but he has a German as a foreign language. But when someone lives in US, then everything is fine. Then also German is accepted as a foreign language.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was actually another question, but to come back to the initial question, is that really only relevant then for someone who has like European citizenship, for example, that it's easier for them because they don't have to apply for a visa, or is there anything that they have to consider when they apply to the university, or is that for the application process, does the actual citizenship not play a big role?
We are, for some universities, we are not responsible for some applications. So you have to check directly at the university if we are responsible for applications from German citizens, or because like different universities have different rules, and some of them they don't want that we are evaluate applications from German citizens. Some of them don't want that we generally evaluate applications from US, from European Union citizen.
So it's best when there are 2 citizenships, just to make sure it's best to really get in touch with the university to find out how they would like you to apply.
Yes, and one thing to add, we have heard from universities in case someone has dual citizenship, that in case it is one of these is European, then he is asked to always state the European, because that is, you know, it must be considered first if you apply to Europe. But however, that can the university can inform more detailed on that.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have a question from someone who's actually interested in, it looks like a master's or doctoral degree. For applying for a master's or doctoral, would the high school diploma matter still, or would it only matter what kind of bachelor's degree, or then for an application for a PhD, only the master's degree matter, or is still after a bachelor's degree the high school diploma relevant for the application?
Generally, only a bachelor degree is relevant. only for some universities, when we are evaluating application for master programs, only some of them, they want to see the first possible way to get to university. I mean the direct admission, but it is only for those applicants who have high school diploma and that they can apply directly with high school diploma and, for example, ACT or AP or yeah, that they have enough points. But generally, generally only bachelor degree is relevant.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And now we have a question in regards to the general university requirements. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but instead of the associate's degree, would it be possible to only show that you have the general university requirement? Would that also suffice? Are you familiar with that?
No, not really. I'm not sure if I understood.
Okay, I think that's a different certificate where someone is eligible to study here in the U.S. and it's the general university requirement. And for the person who asked that question, I would suggest then to really get in touch with either the university or with Uni-assist directly, and also scan the document so that Uni-assist can then take a look at it, because in those cases it would be a case-by-case decision.
Yeah.
So that's a very good question that I receive a lot also is if you receive an associate's degree, would that actually mean, like here in the US where students just transfer to universities, that the credits gets transferred, or so would the credits count at all, or would the student just apply to the university in Germany and start in the first semester? Do you?
The first thing is a question if you meet requirements for the direct admission with your high school diploma and, for example, ACT. Because when you don't meet the requirements with your high school diploma, then we have to, in a second step, we have to evaluate associate degree, and so then there is no credits that can be transferred.
But would it, so if someone was eligible based on the high school diploma and potentially even the SAT and ACT score, if that student, in addition to that, were to have an associate's degree, would it generally be possible for them to also get credits transferred if it's if the student took specific classes that are really field related?
It's just going too to the deep, and this is a question that can be answered only by the university, because they will check the also relevant subjects. We can only we can forward only this application and mention that the person is applying for the higher semester.
So I actually have a question, and I think that's relevant to a lot of students who are seniors at the moment, so in their last year of high school, and they are interested in really pursuing a bachelor's degree right away. So, and in the US, a lot of the high school students, they don't receive their diploma until fairly late in the year. So sometimes it's not even until the end of June. So what would applicants do in that case if they want to submit all of their documents as early as possible for you to check, but then they don't have their official final transcript and their official diploma yet? So how would they go about that if they wanted to apply the same year?
Yeah, then it is best to get in touch with the university, just ask them, state the situation, if there's any way for them to consider the application. For us, it is crucial that the application reaches us on time. We always recommend to apply as early as possible, yet applicants still have time up until the deadline expires to submit applications. So if the application then was complete, we can of course still forward it. In case someone already knows that the deadline will expire once he has his diploma, then it is best to get in touch with the university and ask if there's any possible way for them that they can recommend.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. You mentioned it before, but maybe you can point that out again. So if someone wants to apply to a university and isn't quite sure really if that university is a partner university or not, where would an applicant find out if the university is taking the applications directly or through Uni-assist?
Mm-hmm. Well, that is just always also a part of the information service the university offers. Some universities just, if you approach them and ask them, well, I know that maybe I should apply via Uni-assist or maybe I shouldn't. As soon as the universities hear what either the nationality is or which course you want to apply to or what you aim to do, what kind of degree course you want to take, then it is quite clear for the university either if Uni-assist is in charge of your application or if you have to apply directly to the university. It is, however, in some cases, when we receive applications that we then know or we are not in charge of that application, we of course gonna inform the applicant if that is the case.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And there is another question that's actually quite important, I think, to a lot of listeners is meeting the requirements and what happens if you don't quite meet the requirements. So is it possible in theory if someone doesn't quite so if someone doesn't meet the high school requirements, and here specifically the person is asking about GPA requirements, is there no way for the student to then, with college courses at a community college, to work towards eligibility, or is really the GPA, if you don't have a high enough GPA in high school, is there no way for a student to take courses and work towards that? Would you please elaborate on specifically that when it comes to the GPA?
So then you have to prove at least 2 years of studies at a recognized university, and then you have to meet those requirements that I mentioned before, and they also can be found at ANABIN. I mean, these 5 general subjects and 3 outstanding courses. Mm-hmm. Or then applying with a bachelor degree from US.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And when you say university, just to make sure that the listeners understand what that means, and also to clarify for me, when you say university, does that include community colleges, or does that have to be at a 4-year institution? Because a lot of the students who go to college oftentimes will start at a community college, and so would that be valid, or would they really have to finish with an associate's degree for it to be recognized?
No, an associate degree is also it's also fine as long as you meet the requirements. They are very similar to those when applying with 2 years of studies. Mm-hmm. So it's again 5 general courses and 3 ascending subjects.
Okay, great. And for those of you who are not fluent in German, the Annabin website is currently only available in German, but you will find a lot of the information available there, also on the DAAD.de page. But for further information, and if you're curious on what's on the Annabin website, you can also, in that case, use Google Translate to really just get a gist of what's there if you really would like to know what's on the website. And of course, you can always get in touch with the DAAD offices to get any more information and help if you do not understand some parts of the website that's only in German. I just wanted to add that here. Are there any other questions at the moment? I think we answered a lot of very important questions. I actually have one more question that you said that you encourage applicants to really apply as soon as possible. But so if there's someone, for example, someone in 10th grade or 11th grade, or someone who's not currently really who wants to apply right away, but who would just like to know, am I eligible in theory? Are those applicants able to send in their documents at any point throughout the year, or do you only take applications that are actually ready to be submitted? So how would someone go about it who's not ready to apply, just wants an evaluation of the documents that they have so far?
No, we cannot evaluate documents like in theory what will happen in the future, because we have the requirements, and so the future applicant can check what is necessary and try to follow these requirements, try to take the classes, and try to pass it with the with at least a grade C. But it's not possible. We very often we have questions from applicants who has some deficit in high school diploma, and they are asking us what classes we can take during a study, during a bachelor program to cover the deficits. But we cannot give you such a direct answer. Because also, as I said, the guidelines are very often up to change, and we cannot give you any guarantee that when applying in 2 years, we will have the same requirements.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So for those of you who want to apply in a year or two, I think the recommendation is just to really go to the websites and check the requirements regularly, and to then apply directly to Uni-assist. So you said apply early. Is there any, so if someone wants to, has all the documents, graduated already, and wants to apply for the fall, is there any point when you start taking applications, or do you accept them at any point for the next semester, or is there a date when you start taking applications?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, as I said in my presentation, generally the enrollment, or not the enrollment, but the application period starts around May. But that is, you know, just a general, just a general term, because it might differ. There are courses where the deadline expires even 1 year in advance. That is sometimes master courses. But, you know, generally around May to July is the time where you can start handing in your application. That is the case for applications where you apply via Uni-assist. In case of some VPD universities, you can apply throughout the year. There is no deadline that must be met for your application via Uni-assist, but you would have to apply with the VPD directly to the university within the application period. So generally, you would, that also depends on when the universities open up the application portal. That means the university start to allow applications for applicants to hand in via our application portal. And that is around for the fall, for the winter term, around May.
Okay. Great, thank you. I don't see any more questions here from our audience. I would like to thank you very much for joining us today. There was a lot of great information, and I will also share this presentation with our audience later on our DAAD website. And you see the contact information for Uni-assist in the slides. And as I mentioned earlier, of course, if you have any questions that we can answer, general questions, also the DAAD offices in San Francisco, New York, and Toronto will also be very happy to help you with any general questions. So with that, I would like to again thank you very much to our presenters. That was a really great presentation with a lot of very helpful information. Is there anything that you would like to add before we end this webinar? Any final words?
Well, we just hope that we could give you some helpful information, and in case you missed some information, don't hesitate to contact us directly.
Great, thank you very much. I hope you have since you're in Germany, you have a wonderful evening, and for the audience, I hope you have a wonderful day, and stay tuned for upcoming webinars in the future. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.